Welcome to Winning the Rig Game. As always, this is not investing advice. This is just a way to share my ideas and thoughts about the market. Okay, I'm taking a little break from the videos on future opportunities. I'm going to come back to that, but yesterday's price drop in Tesla is something I have to talk about. This really pissed me off because it was 100% stock manipulation by the mainstream media and shorts. Does it go on? Absolutely. All you got to do is Google Jim Cramer market manipulation, and you'll see him explaining how he did market manipulation using the media. It goes on all the time, and that's why I don't watch CNBC. I might watch it with the sound off, but I don't listen to any of those clowns on Wall Street at this point, because the truth is they can't be trusted. They all have agendas, and a lot of times they'll invite somebody on and they'll have a long position and they'll pump that one up and have a short position and knock that one down, and then when they get a bump or some movement, especially from somebody who's highly respected, they'll sell into those positions, and you think they might have them for a long time. They're already out of them. They wrote it up, they pumped it up or pushed it down and made their money, and then the retail investor believes that, oh, this is good advice. No, they're already out of it. Just look at CNBC, Yahoo Finance, and the fact that they continue to have Gordon Johnson on. I mean, this is an absolute joke. Look at the guy's tip rank scores. He has one of the lowest tip ranking scores and is on CNBC all the time. How is somebody that has that low of a tip rank score? Why would I listen to them? Shouldn't CNBC, Yahoo Finance, Bloomberg, whoever has him on, disclose how bad his recommendations are? I mean, the guy's a joke. All these channels, different media companies, all they care about is getting clicks and selling ads. They just want controversy. You're not getting any kind of useful information from them. My advice is seek out independent research. YouTube is one of the best ones that I've found, and you got to listen to the conference calls and do your own research. Listen to industry experts. Man, I am fired up about this. And today, unfortunately, we had over a 6% drop yesterday on fake news, and we're barely seeing much of a recovery today. It's okay. I mean, I'm buying the stock and I'm not selling the stock, but it's just annoying because they're really trying to scare people out of these positions. Let's go to Twitter. Personally, I think Elon bought the company for a couple of different reasons. Yeah, he has plans of making X.com and the everything app. I believe that to be the case, but he dramatically overpaid for it. I think we all agree on that. And he's very plugged into Silicon Valley and what's going on. He's a very just person, I believe. And I think that he saw what was going on and he heard about what was going on with Twitter and the suppression of information, the corruption of the media, along with government officials, and decided he's going to put a stop to it. He doesn't care about the money. He didn't care about overpaying. Yeah, he tried to get out of the deal because it was really just ridiculous at how much he overpaid. But at the end of the day, he said, screw it. I'm going to go along with the deal and get it done. The Biden administration was even so twisted about it. They talked about creating an investigation into this. And now Elon's released the Twitter files. He's released it only to a couple of journalists who he thinks are fairly independent and are going to do a good job with the information. Tom Fitton, definitely right wing, he's called for Elon to release all the data. I think that's probably a good idea at some point. I'm sure he will, but you can see that this is clear evidence of the corruption of the media and the corruption of the people in Twitter who, quite frankly, I'm glad most of them lost their jobs. They deserve it. They were corrupt in the manipulation of elections. Now, I don't know whether it would have made a difference in the Trump-Biden election. Who knows? I don't really care. I'm so disgusted with both the Republicans and the Democrats. But the idea of the manipulation of the news and the media, and quite frankly, using those to manipulate the stock market. Why do we have the SEC at this point? What are they doing? I mean, they're not trying to stop any kind of manipulation, it doesn't appear to me, which is their main purpose for being. Okay, granted, it's a little complex, especially with media companies. They have a First Amendment right, and I'm sure the SEC is probably afraid to take on the media companies because they can hide behind the First Amendment. But something needs to be done. There really needs to be some kind of reforms of libel laws or something. I don't know. Nobody wants to limit our First Amendment rights, and I definitely don't. But I think there's enough evidence of manipulation to at least make examples of some people and find these companies if they're assisting in the manipulation of stocks, which I think they absolutely are. Now again, Twitter and some of the things going on, the suppression portion of the news. Well, some people might not even know it. There are massive protests in Brazil over the last election, and there are some irregularities in those elections. I don't know what's going to happen with that, but I don't have any confidence in mainstream media, the financial media, or the SEC. There is absolutely stock manipulation going on. How we stop it, I don't know. But I would encourage everybody to do their own research and know what's going on. And the fact is, it is a rigged game. That's why I called this channel Winning the Rigged Game, because it is absolutely rigged. This year has been a real challenge, and it seems like it's not going to get any better for a while. It's a very tough market, especially when you have the levels of manipulation, the short seller reports. Some of these are very much needed, but some aren't. Some are just trying to manipulate stocks. Again, I'm just sort of venting my frustration. I don't really have the answers to this. It's a complex subject about what to do or what can we do to fix this. Like I said, it's just me venting a little bit. Another thing I wanted to talk about was the semi-truck event. Again, for months, people have been saying that it's impossible to have a semi-truck with 500 miles of range. Well, Tesla proved it. I think this is going to be a very good catalyst. We didn't really see much of a bump. I'm shocked, but this is going to be a significant seller for Tesla. If nothing else, companies are going to want to have some of these semi-trucks just for marketing. One of the first things we saw Pepsi Frito-Lay do was put the semi-truck in a Christmas parade. They're absolutely going to use these vehicles to present a good face of Pepsi Frito-Lay, and I'm all for it. I think a lot of companies are going to be lining up to buy the semi-truck. Now, I have a few questions about the semi-truck. Is Tesla Insurance eventually going to cover the semi-truck? If so, that could be another compelling reason why independent truck drivers and companies might want to switch over to the Tesla Semi. They're going to be much safer than traditional trucks. The chances of jackknifing because of the battery pack are much less. The risk of brake failure, especially crossing the Continental Divide and some of the mountains out west, they have ramps for trucks that lose their brakes. With the regenerative braking, the Tesla Semi barely will be using their brakes. And the amount of maintenance that truck drivers have to spend maintaining their equipment and while it's being worked on can't be used. So it's a double hit for independent truck drivers. That's a huge benefit for having the electric semi-truck. They won't require nearly the amount of maintenance that a traditional diesel truck would have to have for maintenance. I think this is going to be a very good product for Tesla. It's really been the first new product in a while. Now, just to talk about some rumors, another version of the Tesla pickup truck with two doors. A design was hanging in the Peterson Museum of a two-door Cybertruck. I gotta admit, looks pretty cool. So if Tesla were to announce something like that, it would be a huge catalyst. And we had the interview with Franz von Holzhausen about his favorite product that he can't talk about. What is that product? The robo-taxi? The van? Who knows? We gotta wait and see. But I think 2023 is going to be a very challenging year, just like 2022. The Fed appears to be leaning towards slowing. Some of the data is mixed, but the problem with the Fed is a lot of their data is backward looking. But I don't have a lot of confidence in the Fed. I think they're going to put us in recession and possibly a very deep recession. And to be honest, there's not a lot of companies you want to be investing in during a recession. Tesla, I think, is one of the few companies that will be able to grow substantially during a recession. In spite of the performance of Tesla this year, down 50%, I'm still very positive on Tesla for a lot of reasons. Their ability to scale up manufacturing is going to be huge. And one of the main reasons why I'm so interested in the 4680s. That's going to allow Tesla to increase production, which will allow for the lowering of prices. If you're only producing one of any given product, it's going to cost a lot. If you're able to ramp up production, it becomes extremely less expensive the more you produce something. Economies of scale. That's exactly what Tesla's going to do. We're still waiting for Master Plan 3 to come out from Elon, but he's been preoccupied with Twitter. Commodity prices have been coming down, except lithium. Lithium prices remain high, but it's a relatively small part of their overall expenses on commodities. And Tesla has had traditionally very good people for doing their supply chain and buying massive amounts of materials. They've been very good at planning. Some of the other car companies are in serious trouble, and I think we're going to see a number of car companies go out of business. I think Nissan might be one of the first. Stellantis has already said basically they're in trouble. Other reasons why I'm very positive about Tesla, the dollar is starting to come down. That was a huge headwind in the previous Q3 earnings. In fact, Tesla lost about $250 billion because of currency exchanges. That's a significant headwind. We're still waiting on additional factory announcements, which we know are coming, and we know that they're going to have new products. Supposedly, Dojo, the first supercomputer, is going to be deployed or built by the end of March. Now, we don't know if that's going to be successful, but it's looking pretty positive. And if Tesla is able to reduce the amount of time of training turning the neural nets from 1 month to 1 week at a lower price, that's going to be significant. And then they'll build the other 6 Dojo supercomputers. By my calculations, they'll be able to get the training of the neural nets down from 1 month to 1 day. And who knows, they might end up having AI as a service. If Tesla is able to get the full self-driving, it's going to have massive impact to the valuation of the stock, especially for the Tesla Semi. Imagine you're a logistics company and your competitor is using full self-driving Tesla semis. How can you compete with human drivers? Now, I think that's a long time off. I don't see regulators allowing an 80,000 ton truck without a driver anytime soon. But at some point, if they're able to get the full self-driving, that will come. And Tesla will be either a supplier for a logistics company with the full self-driving as a service, or they'll just create their own logistics service. I still think the potential for Tesla in the future is going to be massive. So these prices, are they frustrating right now? Yeah, 100%. But the future potential, I think, is massive. Again, not stock advice, just my own opinion. And again, part of the reason why I started this channel was to be able to vent and put my own ideas out there for other people to consider. Do your own research. So I talked a little bit about the Dojo supercomputer, which will lead me into the next video. And I'm going to be talking about those companies that I'm positive on for artificial intelligence. I still see artificial intelligence as probably the most significant change in the world since the wheel or fire. And I don't think that we're going to be able to stop it. Artificial intelligence is going to change the world in massive ways. Some possibly negative impacts. People are going to lose their jobs. But every time we've seen a technological advancement, society has benefited and created more jobs. Hopefully that will continue to be the case. Well, anyway, that's it. I just wanted to vent a little bit and stay positive. And I'm going to work on the other video regarding the artificial intelligence companies. Thanks very much for watching. Hit the bell, the like button, subscribe, leave a comment.